the suit?
So we actually train for one of the emergency scenarios we train for is what's called a mask to suit transition. So the crews are able to do that pretty quickly on the order of single-digit number of minutes, because in the capsule there's times when a lot of the time you'll have the suit off, but you will have to potentially put it on for some if there's.
This is LD on countdown 1 with a T-minus 4-hour situational awareness briefing. We are currently counting down to a T0 of 03:53:38 UTC, 22:53:38 local, with an instantaneous window. The crew has started suit donning and lead checks in preparation to begin ingress activities, and the advanced team is currently on the way to the pad. Vehicle gases are at me up, FTS checkouts are complete, and Dragon prop tanks are pressed. Weather overall looks much better than yesterday, with launch weather at a 25% probability of violation for flight through precip and anvil clouds. Current trends over the last hour appear to be more favorable. Ascent risk winds are much better than yesterday, but we'll continue to monitor precipitation in the staging area up until L-1 hour. In the event of scrub, the next available launch attempt will be tomorrow, March 4th. Procedure 52.911 is open in the event of a crew contingency from ingress through launch. As a reminder, the launch escape system will be armed prior to propellant load today. Hangar access will go to lockdown at T-minus 45 minutes and will last until a spacecraft separation or after the launch escape system is disarmed. All personnel are requested to stay in their locations until lockdown is complete. And CE, do you have a report on Falcon 9 health?
Falcon 9 is healthy and tracking no issues at this time, ready to proceed.
And ND.
Dragon team is looking good over here. Dragon is healthy and ready to proceed.
All right, copy all, and this will conclude the T-minus 4-hour brief, unless there's any further questions.
All right, that was just the T-minus 4-hour situational awareness brief, confirming again that we are go for launch at 10:53 and 38 seconds Eastern Time. Weather, again, much better. You heard them just reporting that out. 75% go, much more favorable than yesterday, as well as the ascent corridor weather, much better. But they will be watching precipitation and other conditions there until the T-minus 1 hour mark. Falcon 9 is healthy, Dragon is healthy, so right now I think we're in a good spot. Roger,
yeah,
what do you think?
Sounds good. As you heard there, the precip in the staging area is the thing they're watching, the ascent corridor, which is better than yesterday, which also had some wind and wave issues. So today it's just more of watching that rain, and as that moves out, and as the night goes on, hopefully that continues to improve. So that's the trend they'll continue to watch.
And so we're taking a look at Dominic laughing inside his suit right now. He's getting his suit pressure checked, right?
He is, yeah. So you asked about how long it takes to get in the suit. It's a few minutes. That's if in an off-nominal case. So when they're doing it for this, they take a little bit longer just to make sure everything's in the best config it can and everything is comfortable. Yeah, it's meant to self-don, so you don't need two people to do it like you do with the EMUs, which are the extravehicular mobility units we use for spacewalk. So these are self-donning. And we talked a little bit yesterday about you can see how his knees are starting to puff up, so the suit's starting to inflate. So once they go visors down, that's when the gas starts flowing and it starts to pressurize. And it's actually unlike the spacewalk suits that we use that have their own internal closed-loop CO2 removal, the SpaceX suits, they actually are leaking in the sense that the gas that's flowing is actually coming out. And so that's actually what's scrubbing out the CO2 as the crew member's exhaling. So air comes out, but air doesn't go back in, if that makes sense.
Yep.
But there's a regulator that maintains that, basically that pressure, and you'll see his arms and legs inflate.
And why don't we take some time now to introduce you to Matt Dominic, our commander. He was born and raised in Wheat Ridge, Colorado. Married to Faith Dominic, and they have 2 daughters. Matt earned a Master of Science degree in Systems Engineering from the Naval Postgraduate School and was designated a Naval Aviator in 2007. He made 2 deployments to the North Arabian Sea, flying close air support missions in support of Operation Enduring Freedom. He has more than 1,600 hours of flight time in 28 different aircraft, 400 carrier-arrested landings, and 61 combat missions. This is going to be his first spaceflight.
Yeah, and like we talked about yesterday, Megan, the other important thing about Matt is he's a turtle. So as a fellow turtle of the class of 2017, great to see another one going to space. He'll join Jaws and Laurel, who are up there now. So there'll be 3 of them on board. But great to see Matt flying. He is always one of the most hilarious people in any room you're in, but also one of the most technically competent and just knows how to get the job done. So I'm excited to see him commanding this mission and heading up to join the rest of the crew up on the ISS.
And as his pressure check was completed, we have pilot Michael Barrett sitting next to him. He was selected by NASA in 2000. He's the only one of Crew-8 who's been to space before. He was part of Expedition 1920 in 2009 and STS-133 in 2011. In total, he's spent 212 days in space. He is board certified in internal and aerospace medicine. He has actually been awarded numerous times for his contributions to space medicine research. Michael lives in League City, Texas with his wife Michelle, and they have 5 children. Personal and recreational interests, we talked about this yesterday, include sailing, boat restoration, writing, and cooking food in harsh or remote places. He said austere specifically.
Yeah, Mike and Michelle are great, and you mentioned he's the one on the crew with previous space flight experience and couldn't have a better mentor for the rest of the crew. And I know that because he was my mentor during ASCAN training, so he's just a great human. I'd be curious to see if the suit techs would unzip one of his zippers for us, but I'm guessing he's got snacks hidden in one of those pockets because, as you mentioned, he is infamous or famous as it may be for both cooking in austere conditions, but for also being consistently supplied with snacks. Yeah, you mentioned if you Google him, he is the person that writes the book on flight medicine, space flight medicine. So if you are a space flight medicine student, you surely know his work because that's the book you're studying from.
So he's very prepared, will be very valuable up there for snacks and also if anyone gets sick. All right, and now this is Mission Specialist Jeanette Epps we're taking a look at. This